Hey there, this is your tutorial for the order tracker sheet on your Cake Ninja spreadsheet for pricing. So this is an abbreviated version of mine, some of these that I have going on. So what you're first going to do is put the name of the wedding person. So let's say that it's the Smith wedding, and what you've quoted them, the due date. If you just click it twice, it will come up like that. And you can just do a picker. Same thing here. Oh no, not the same thing. You just put in, let's say 3 p.m. The delivery location, in this case I have Arroyo Seco. And then you're going to just put a summary because you have a detailed version of the cake on your costing sheet. So this is just a summary for a quick look to make sure you have everything all in one place. So you can put your number of servings, number of tiers, the proposed sizes. It can be any of these that I've listed. And if you don't like any of those, you can just write your own in. That's no problem. Put your flavors for cake, filling, frosting, decor. This is the bride or the main cake. And a topper if there's going to be one. Now the same thing for the groom's cake. Exactly the same thing. This one doesn't have a groom's cake, but if it did, that's where we put it. And then if you have cupcakes in this order, or if it's just a cupcake order, you can certainly just do this part here. The number needed, cake filling, frosting, and any decor, and whether or not your delivery is included. And then some special notes if you want to make some notes to yourself about the topper or a specific request they had, something like that. No big deal, just put it in there. And then the next one is the contact information. So there's so many ways that we can get messages now. There's Facebook Messenger, there's Facebook page, there's text, there's email, there's a phone call. So I always like to put on there, how do I reach this person? Either their email here, or it's a text message or Facebook Messenger or something. I've actually added this other column, notes to myself, but you could actually put all your notes to yourself here under special notes. But what you do have in yours at the very end is this handy way to keep track of what amount of deposits you have, how much is still due, and when you should ask for that final payment. So I have it set up here so that 1 month before any big event, you're going to remember to text them, call them, whatever, and say, hey, your final payment's due. So for example, this one, Smith, the cake quote was 65, and she just paid me as soon as she booked. So I put 65 in here, which tells me she doesn't owe me anything. And if I did have to remind her, it would have been on the 18th of January, but I didn't have to. So, and you'll notice here that this has turned green because it's all paid up. But let's say she hasn't paid me the whole amount. Let's say she paid me 45. You can see that this turned another color. So, as soon as I go back to 65, it'll turn green again because then that tells me, oh, I'm all paid up. Okay, so down here on this elopement, I have not put a quote in. And I've not put a deposit, and I've not put an amount due because we're still talking. But as soon as I put the quote in, it will turn yellow because it'll tell me that she hasn't paid anything yet or hasn't paid up. And the amount due, if she does pay something, the balance will become here. And this is the date that I have to remind her for her final payment is due because it's 1 month before her due date. Same thing with the big wedding. This one is quoted at 370. She's already paid me 150. That's telling me I need 220 from her still. And I need to remind her on Friday, February 21st to make the final payment of 220. So that is an overview of how you're going to use the order tracker. Now let's say that you're done with this one, and then you can hide them so that what you've got going is always at the top. And I always do that because I'm always looking at this to see what's coming up. So you can see here with these little triangles, it goes from 3 to 14. That means I've hidden all those. So I'm going to open that up for you to see what that looks like. See, these are all these other ones that I've done. So what you're going to do, if you just want to hide those, you're just going to highlight them. Let's say you're going to highlight up to this point, and then you right click and you just select hide rows. So only the latest one, the one that you have coming up, is at the top, and then when that one's done, you hide that one. And by the way, the same thing can happen with when you're making your costing masters. So for example, this one is the Moore wedding, and when it's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little thing here, and I'm going to hide sheet. So I keep that sheet, but I just hide it, so it's not cluttering up all of this stuff down here. But what if I want to find it again? Super easy. You just go to all sheets over here, and every sheet that you have will be listed. If it doesn't have a little dot next to it, that means it's hidden. Okay, so I have hidden a couple of them on mine just because I like to keep things clean. I don't need instructions and setup, but you guys do. But once you have the instructions in the setup all down, then you're welcome to hide those. But that's kind of a handy way to keep your whole thing a little bit uncluttered. So I hope that helps you. And please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions about any of the sheets. And this tracker is something that I use, this order tracker. I have it open all the time on mine. So good luck and stay organized. Bye.